Did you know that there's actually a lot that goes into an iPhone battery, and that all aftermarket batteries are not created equal? We at Ampsentrix have been working diligently over the last few years to create battery lines that are safe and reliable and comparable to OEM, but also cost effective, and we have done that. We call those lines Ampsentrix Pro and Ampsentrix Basic. What is Ampsentrix Basic? Why did we come out with it? We came out with it because we heard from you we want a less expensive option, and we knew that this is something that we could accomplish, so we definitely delivered. And it is available right now on our website. And Ampsentrix Basic is going to kill in the market. Now, one of the things that you might be wondering is what happened to our Ampsentrix battery? It is now called Ampsentrix Pro. In the video that we released last week, we go in depth about the Ampsentrix Pro battery so that you can see why it is called Pro, because it is comparable to an Apple OEM battery, and we prove that to you in that video. Last week we released an extremely in-depth video covering the components that make up a good iPhone battery, which are the battery core, the MCU, the temperature control, the gas gauge chip, the voltage resistor, the protection IC, the CPU communication, and even something as simple yet as important as the FPC connector. And we broke down each one of those components into 3 separate parts, covering its importance and the function, the market availability, and not only did we compare our batteries to Apple's, but we also compared them to other aftermarket batteries. Now, the information in that video will educate you on how you can actually tell if the batteries that you are buying are worth what you're paying for them, as well as show you specifically what you need to look for to determine whether or not a battery is good quality or not. That video was first of several videos that will help you understand why do some aftermarket batteries get hot when charging, or jump into percentages, or drain quickly, as we got into the science behind the root causes of all the major issues that aftermarket batteries have experienced in the past. It's because there was a point in time where I thought a battery was a battery, and that it didn't really matter as long as it turned on. But it turns out to be a lot more complicated than that, and there are a lot of manufacturers that are basically cutting corners and ripping people off because they are supplying a cheap battery just to get you to buy it. One of the things that we talked about in the video that we released last week was about the name changes. Now, I wanted to go a little bit more in depth about the name changes so that you have a full understanding of all of the different names of the batteries that we have. But before I do that, I want to talk about one that you haven't heard from us yet. In March of 2023, Ampsentrix developed a battery that would allow you to simply connect the original BMS board via connector to the battery so that you didn't have to tack weld it to, say, a core battery in order to eliminate the notification. And we put this battery out to the market in China. One, we wanted to see how it would do in the market, and also we wanted to make sure that we could release our basic line before releasing it. So you've probably heard about it. It definitely revolutionized the batteries with regards to the way you can eliminate the notification. We're calling that battery line Ampsentrix Plus. So let me break down the names of all the batteries that we carry, starting from the least expensive and making its way up. Ampsentrix Core with pre-programmed tag on flex. That's a universal tag on flex. Then there's Ampsentrix Basic, which is the best aftermarket battery, as we've proven in the video last week. There will also be Ampsentrix Basic Extended, which is basically a higher capacity of the same model, which will allow for a phone to have a longer charge and a longer life. Then there is Ampsentrix Plus, which I just talked about, which has the ability to connect the original BMS board to it and alter the data at the same time so that you don't need a programmer and you don't need to tack weld. It's simply clipping the BMS board off of the original battery and connecting it to the designated connector on the battery. And there will also be an Ampsentrix Plus Extended, which is the extended capacity, as previously talked about. And then, of course, our Ampsentrix Pro line, which is comparable to OEM quality. And, of course, we have that in the extended as well. If you haven't already, I highly encourage you to go watch the full video so that you can know more about the tech behind batteries and help us reshape the aftermarket battery industry. You can find a link to that video in the description or in the comments below. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.